To order. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, do you guys know when we swear in our new seats? Is that December?
That's December.
December, okay. Someone asked me about that today. Okay, roll call. Everyone's present except Guy Garcia. Notice to the public. Any member of the public wishing to address the governing board on a topic within the subject matter jurisdiction of the library or the district, but not on the agenda, may do so during the public comment period identified in this agenda. Bylaws, subjects not on the agenda cannot be acted upon by board except to briefly respond, clarify, or refer to staff for review and presentation at a future meeting. The board president will recognize you for public comment on matters on the agenda at the appropriate time. Any correspondence?
No, none.
And consent agenda? Nothing. Any public comment? There's nobody in the public. Guest and presentations? None?
No.
And director's report?
Okay, I brought along a copy of the budget for everybody as usual. The accountant keeps kind of tweaking the way that it's presented. There's new percentages that show how much of the annual budget has been used. We're 33% through the budget year, and I think everything looks pretty good. It's about like it was last month. The only higher expenditures are mainly in the areas of computer stuff, and that's because we did all those computer upgrades at the beginning of the fiscal year. So, unless people have any more questions, I don't really have much more to add to that.
All right.
Ready to keep going?
Yep, go for it.
Okay, library activities. Today we had a flu shot clinic. I contacted Solano Public Health and they came down and gave free flu shots. We had 13 people that showed up for that, including my son and I. We went and did it.
Did he get the inhaler or did he get the actual shot?
He got the shot. He was good. He didn't cry or anything.
Oh, wow.
So it was good. We're doing a food for fines trade-off. People can bring in canned goods or non-perishable items to the library and exchange one can for $1 off their fines, up to a maximum of $10.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
goes to Dixie Family Services or something?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's from the 10th through the 26th.
So now's the time if I have any fines.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We're gonna close early for the Christmas tree lighting on the 4th of December. That's 4 to 8 is when we're doing that. We'll close the library early except for the Christmas story times, which will be at 5 and 6 for the kids.
Last year there was a big gathering and the library had staff outside. Will that be again this year?
Yeah, I think most of us will be outside except Adrian when she's doing the story times. She'll be inside.
Yeah, it's a fun event.
Yeah, and one of the pages is gonna dress up as Frosty the Snowman. So.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. We hired a new person to work in the clerk pool to fill in on the weekends and evenings. She's bilingual, so I'm trying to get us up to where we have a bilingual person on staff 100% of the time, but it's still around 85% of the time we have somebody. But she's another person that'll be able to step in and be there to help people that have limited English. So I think that's good. I would like to have somebody there all the time if possible. And Adrian had an idea that she wanted me to bring up with y'all about she's doing a winter reading club, same kind of sign up thing that the summer reading club was, but she wanted to do an incentive where if as a whole, that if the children's and teens read 800 books as a group, that we would adopt a family for the holidays. And she wanted you guys to approve $100 to $200, she thought, to try and adopt a family to give them either presents for Christmas or like a meal for Christmas. And she wasn't sure whether that would be an appropriate use of library funds, but I think so.
I think it's a good idea.
It's a good incentive, I think.
Yeah, I think it's tied to something like that.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Continuing education, Adrian and I went to the CLA, California Library Association meeting in Oakland last weekend. And
How was
that
it?
was fun. I got to meet the state librarian. So.
Is that exciting for librarians when they get to meet the state librarian?
I guess so, yeah, it was kind of fun. I mean,
Okay.
it's the third event I've been to with
there
them, so I've
autographs?
met him
The
twice.
Grand Poobah librarian, is that who that is? Okay.
Susan went to the state archives for an all-day paper conservation workshop too, so she's learning more about that kind of stuff. I talked with Joe about this morning. We talked about it last time, the Granicus contract, that's gonna be canceled at the first of the year.
Thank you for negotiating with them and getting that arranged. That's a big savings to
Yeah, you're welcome.
the library.
Yeah, cause it was $500 a month and we weren't
Yeah.
really using it.
Well,
So
you
the
were-
I- you mean the iLegislate?
Yeah,
The grant, yeah.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
same thing.
The new library website accomplishes almost the same thing that when we first talked about Granicus, we thought that was a great idea, but now this new library website, basically accomplishes it, so.
Well, the Granicus is good if you have a lot of attachments.
Yes.
And it saves printing out all that stuff.
It's good on the school
But
side,
for $500 a
yeah.
month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last month, Joe had asked for an update on VoIP this month, and that hasn't really gotten very far. The person that I'm working with wanted all the bills from the past year for all the phone bills and the contracts. I've gotten those to him, but he's still working on it. He hasn't come up with a proposal yet on his end.
Yeah.
All right. Ongoing business.
Yeah, the Carnegie Building improvements. I've made photographs for everybody of just what the outside of the Carnegie looks like these days. It's really kind of run down, and I've got a list of things I would like to do to kind of spruce it up a little. But if you kind of just flip through these, you can kind of see how the pavement is cracked. The stuff that's closer to the street is the city, but the stuff that's closest to the building is the libraries. And I talked with Pedro, our maintenance guy, and he can replace the concrete there.
Even the little strip that's between the curb and the sidewalk, I don't think the city's gonna complain if we wanted to, plant or landscape that area, so.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Let's
Do we have are we just gonna have the regular maintenance person be doing this, or are you gonna get a separate quote for the landscaping work?
Well, he can do it. I've got his proposals the next thing in the packet.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh, that's okay. Let's see. Let's go all the way to near the back of the photos.
So the stairs, are you saying that they should be possibly patched or something?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to do with
And
the
what can be
stairs.
done,
Is that
considering
something we
that's,
can do?
considering that's a historical building now?
Are the stairs a part of the historical?
I don't know. They're not functional.
No.
I mean, you can walk up like a stair would function, but it's not an entrance.
We can do repairs, we just can't make, changes, but we can repair the structures, but we can't, necessarily change it once it's designated historical. At some point, aren't we gonna have to do some more earthquake retrofit to that foundation as well?
Probably.
Yeah, so,
If you're down to the last couple photographs, I was thinking that we would extend the grass along this strip here and
That's a
back
great
to the
idea.
library.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that would probably not even be too much money. Is there sprinklers in there, do you know?
Yeah, Pedro has actually put like a line of sprinklers in this area that'll cover
Yeah, that
that
would
part
look,
of the grass too.
that would look nice if that was nice, yeah.
Because right now just trash collects there and it really doesn't, it's not very appealing.
and I'm sorry, where's I have the contractor's estimate for Miller. Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
The
I guess I
Moreno
didn't see this one.
construction one.
Got it, now I've got
Yeah.
it. Andy just gave it to me.
Because he says he can go through and cover up the drains, he can add grass to the dried up area, make sure the paint's uniform. There's some pipes that really don't do anything that he could get rid of. And there are sconces, 4 of them on the Carnegie. I want him to get up there and see if the lights are actually functional, so we can actually light up that side of the building. So I think that would look good too.
One of the, not to jump the agenda items, but when we get to Miller Building, one of the things that I was thinking in terms of Miller Building was that we would put the same sconces along the side of Miller so that the whole side would light up at night, and paint Miller the same color as Carnegie, integrate Miller more into the look of Carnegie, so that we don't have 3 different colored buildings, you know, on our premises, which we have right now. But that's coming. So I think repairing those sconces would be great. Having that be able to light like that, I think would really make that building look nice, so.
Yeah, no, I think so too. That makes sense. But Pedro put together a couple of proposals, just estimates, to fix the concrete for $2,400 and to then fix the grass and sod for $2,600.
Now, you only have this for information and discussion, but you have the authority to go forward for those kind of amounts of money.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
That's why I didn't
All right.
have it for an action.
Got it.
I just wanted to share with you what we were thinking of doing.
And so does our ending fund balance look like it could absorb something like that
Yeah, there's plenty of money in there.
yeah. for some sort of facility up? Okay,
Yeah.
That and our trip to the Bahamas, so don't worry.
excellent. I don't fly coach. Only first class. I don't fly coach.
Okay, there you
though.
go. Well,
Joe.
we've got enough even for first class now. We didn't before, but we do now, so.
All right.
You don't wanna use the library Learjet?
Very good.
Right.
Maybe that's what we use those 3 lots in the back for. We could build a landing strip with them.
Oh, there you
Okay,
go.
there you go.
Private
Okay.
helicopter or
Yep.
something. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, the last thing about the Carnegie is that the people are coming to replace the windows and frames next weekend, the 22nd, 23rd.
And now what's that gonna cost?
7,600, I think.
And what are they gonna do with the old windows?
I'm not sure what they do with the old windows. But it's a two-day project, and they're gonna do it Saturday and Sunday next weekend.
Will you have to close on, at the times that they're working, or?
No, he didn't think so. He said he was gonna put in the bigger windows on Saturday. He said there shouldn't be any noxious smell. He says anything that smells is stuff that he puts on the outside of the window, so it shouldn't affect the inside. And then he said he could get the rest done Sunday morning, so I was just gonna go down there and hang out Sunday
Well,
morning.
you could put a sign up on the Carnegie section that, you know, it's under repair so that people will, you know and stay out of the repair area, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see, there's a proposal from Albertazzi Construction. I talked to a couple people about the Miller Building. He's the only one that gave me an estimate. The other ones haven't gotten back to me yet. I just saw them earlier this week. There were some people from West Sacramento, but, he thinks it would probably cost $150,000 to $200,000 to make that area usable office space and to connect the buildings, to connect the Miller to the library.
But that estimate doesn't include, drywall and carpeting. It doesn't include finishing. It's basically to take it to where to roughed out finishing, where all the utilities are in place and all the, everything has been done other than the drywalling and the finishing, the carpeting and stuff, because I didn't think that was in the proposal, the way I read it. But-
No, I don't think it is.
Okay.
But that's just, I just asked him for a ballpark figure,
Okay.
just to kind of get an idea.
What I think, in terms of Miller, and we've talked about this before, and you and I talked about it this morning, but I think if we do Miller, we should do Miller in 2 phases. The first phase would be the bookstore and the upstairs second floor, and then the second phase would be the driving school, assuming we would give the owner of the driving school, 6 months or a year's notice to let her be able to transition, do what she was gonna do if she's gonna retire, then she retires. And that there be a connection between the current library building and the Miller building, and then we would open up a portal way. Where the stairs are, there's that landing, and we would open up a portal, either a door or an arch, between the old bookstore and the landing to the second floor. And that door that faces out to the street from the stairs would then become an emergency exit only. It would be, you know, alarmed or tripped, that kind of thing. Then when we pick up that later space, we can build an arch on the other side of that landing and literally then break into the driving school space and complete those, you know, tenant improvements, those finishings on that side. And then in terms of the exterior, I mean, you know, this is my 2 cents. I think we should paint the Miller building the same color as the Carnegie building and make it almost look like they're part of the same unit in a sense. Coordinate it, make it look a little nicer from a street presence, and then put the same sconces on the Miller building that we have on Carnegie, so it does look like at night everything is all lighted up and connected to each other. And that's probably a very minimal cost to do that and make that look coordinated like that. And then I would move those trash cans, that one fenced-in trash can area, back, and so it's not visible from the street, and landscape that whole little area where the trash cans are.
Yeah,
So-
well, that makes sense.
What's our timeline of getting this done?
Well, we actually,
I mean, it's
we have
it's-
money now to do this first phase, already. So it's just whether the board decides they wanna do that or not. But, the way I understand it is we built the building fund back up that we could cover this estimate,
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to
yeah.
see a couple more estimates though prior.
probably small.
I mean, I know
yeah.
Joe and he does good work, Joe
You do know
Albertazzi.
him? Okay.
I know him, I've known him for years. He does good work and he, you know, he's got a great reputation, but still I think we, you know, we have to do it.
Yeah, we should put it out for bid, do it correct way.
But I need
and-
something that's a little
yes.
less ballpark.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
of course.
Oh, yeah, no, we'd want a formal estimate and put it out for bid. That would be the way to do it. So, I think making use of that space, now that we've especially fixed the roof and, you know, we have to do mold remediation, and there's pretty bad mold in there in that one corner for sure. But that space is savable.
Savable for what though?
Oh, you can, the second floor,
Okay, and I get,
Oh.
I get you can do offices and stuff, but do we need them?
yeah, oh, you
Or
definitely
is
need
it something that we
that.
could rent out?
Well, you could do that too, but the second floor, you could convert to, the way I think it should happen is the second floor would be 5 offices, there's a small kitchenette area up there, and it's already plumbed, everything's there, and a bathroom on the second floor that would be a non-ADA bathroom. Then on the first floor, you have a bathroom that would be an ADA bathroom, you'd have to build it out, but there's plumbing and all the rough out is there. And you would have, you'd move meeting and computer and additional stacks. You'd have a meeting room, a computer room, additional stacks, reading room, and some other areas downstairs on the main floor. I think at that point then, you're able to take a lot of these kind of corners right now where y'all are sort of orphaned, shipwrecked, and making temporary offices, and turn those into stacks and, you know, collections that people could go through. So the whole first floor would be public and ADA accessible, and we don't really have a good ADA bathroom there anyway, because you've just got the one that's behind Susan's desk, and that's almost ADA approved. There's still problems with that one, but you could have a real ADA bathroom, so we wouldn't have issues anymore with that. And you literally would have tremendous additional collection space, a meeting room, and a real computer room. So, and you could expand the kids section too then if you wanted. The space is there, we've got it. It's a shame not to use it. And I think the building is I mean, if you blow out all the terrible drywall that was done on the inside and the fake paneling and all that stuff that's in there, and redo it correctly, I think it would be an outstanding addition to the library. Really nice looking. And you have, I think, you have what, 5 full-time
Yeah,
employees?
we have 5 full-time employees, so that would work.
Yeah, and so if you create, you'd have offices for every full-time employee upstairs, adult librarian, you.
Give you an office too, Joe?
Yeah, really, that'd be good. We could put a pool table up there in the corner.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's, I mean, we don't have to do anything with it if we don't want to. And certainly, we don't have to do anything with the driving school space right now. We can let that lady stay for the time being. You know, that's why I think it should be done in 2 phases. Just, if you're gonna, you know, you'd recommend it anyway, letting her stay for another year or so, so.
All right. Catlin, what are you thinking? What are you pondering?
Well, I'm just thinking that I'd like to see some designs of that to see what our options are in terms of that space. I mean, I like some of your ideas, Joe, but I'm also thinking, you know, the idea.
Especially the pool table?
Pool table's a good one, right? Pool table's a good one. But you know, I like the idea of having sort of a more of a computer area, different kind of computer area, that sort of thing, and I'd like to see how we could best use that space. So maybe spending a little bit of money on design
Yeah,
before we
yeah.
talk about construction.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, and if we get somebody in to look at that, they can also help us be as cost efficient as possible and make maximum use of the space. But, you know, the offices that are in the front that face on the street, those two, I don't think you really even have to reconfigure. I think they're fine, just the way that, you know, you have to clean them up, you have to get rid of the mold, you have to paint them, and you have to carpet them. But those offices, you don't have to reconfigure the front of the building. The back of the building completely needs to be reconfigured and redone. But the nice thing is you have the plumbing, you have the roughouts on the 2nd floor for the mini kitchenette already there. That's that one sink and bathroom, utility sink and bathroom in the middle. And you have a bathroom upstairs that's already there, so you've got that all, the plumbing's all roughed out. And then you've got the roughed out plumbing on the 1st floor as well for the ADA bathroom. So you really, the big expenses, I think, are, you know, we can take advantage of those things and avoid a lot of the big expenses just by not relocating things, just leaving them just where they are and just refinishing them correctly, so.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. The people I talked to earlier this week are library design people, so they kind of have a different angle on it. But I don't have anything back from them written yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to see that when we do that, that'd be a good place to start.
Yeah, yeah. Next thing's approval of the minutes from last time.
All right. Do you have any questions about the minutes from last time?
No, I'll move.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, do we have any public comments? Seeing none? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, and do I have a motion for the amendment to the library director's contract?
I'll move.
I'll
Okay,
second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any public comments? See none. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Sunday hours.
Yeah, this is just to extend the Sunday hours for the next year, because we've done it as a trial phase through the
How
end
was
of
it?
this year.
Did it, it's as good as we thought it was gonna be?
Yeah, better, I think. It's much more heavily used than Saturdays ever were.
Really?
That's great.
So, yeah.
I like that.
That's great.
Are you seeing a lot of kids come in to do, computer work or homework or any, is
Yeah.
that happening a lot?
Yeah, lots
I
of
was hoping
kids.
that was happening on Sundays, yeah.
Like my report's due tomorrow. What am I gonna do?
It's kinda like that, yeah,
Yeah.
so,
I've been there.
and the cost, I think you had told us the 6-month cost was about 8,000, is that right? So a year,
It was a little over nine.
A little over nine?
9,200, I think.
so a year we're talking is roughly 18,000 to run the Sunday hours?
Yeah.
All right, now our budget's looking pretty healthy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think so. No, I think it's been a real success. I haven't heard anything negative about it.
I'd move continuation of Sunday hours for another year,
Okay,
same hours.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? Public comments? None? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Next one is basically to sync the holiday calendar with Solano. Columbus Day needs to make it's not on the list of approved holidays, even though we did close this year. If we don't close the same days that Solano does, our computer system doesn't work on those days. So it makes sense to sync up with them. So the only days that are affected, Columbus Day isn't on the list in the policies of one of the official holidays, and Easter Sunday is the other one, and that's never been an issue since we haven't been open Sundays. So those
So you
those are
think
the-
Columbus Day will be open or will not be open?
will not be open. They'll just be added to the list of the official holidays in the policies.
Yeah, our schools are in session that day,
Right,
aren't
schools
they?
are in session, government's in session.
But that's only new with Dixon.
2 years, this last 2
Yeah.
years. Cause
Yeah.
we used to get it off every year.
So I guess Solano still goes by the other old calendar then, because they're closed Columbus Day.
Okay,
It makes sense to align our calendar with them.
Yeah, I think so.
all right. Do I have a motion on that?
I'll move.
And a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion, public comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
The very last thing, it's the last sheet in your packet. The whole thing's kind of odd, but the county administrator's office came to me and said that as part of their 5-year report, the library board needs to approve these figures, and most of them are like old. That has to do with the impact fees over the past 5 years, and that's part of a report that the Solano County Board of Supervisors needs to have by December the 15th. There haven't been any activities since 08, 09 in that account. So basically, it's just approving the figures from the times when the library was actually
Well,
purchasing
this was the
properties.
count Greg Atkins used to buy 2 of the 3 properties that were gonna be used for the $25 million library expansion that never happened.
Right, and there hasn't
Yeah.
been any
And
activities in
those
those
properties
accounts.
sit now without any use whatsoever, essentially, yeah. And with this, was, one of these 2 was the one that the house burned down on, and the other one was vacant, is that what this is?
Yeah,
Okay. And we're being asked to do this for audit purposes, approve this, cause I certainly don't like the idea of approving the sales even retroactively, but okay,
no, it's just to go into this report that comes from the county administrator.
all right.
You need action on this?
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. Do I have a motion for approval of the impact fee report for Solano County?
I'll move approval.
Okay, and do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Any public comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. That's it. Any announcements? Taco truck? No, you don't want to announce that? Okay. All right. Meeting adjourned.
All right, thank you.
Good job, Steve.
Thank you.